Hello, I'm Mrs. Downer. I'm going to be your math teacher this year. I teach geometry and honors geometry at Grandview Heights High School. I would like you to take a walk with me around my classroom so that you can see what there is for you to use throughout the year. Over on the side, you'll see a table. This can be used for group work. This can also be used for large classes that I have. Some people may need to sit over here during the class time. If you do sit over here, I've got erasers and whiteboards that you can use, as well as markers. Also over here on the side board, I've got red pens for grading formatives and homework. And then right here, I have chargers for the graphing calculators. So if yours runs out of charge, you can place it over here to be charged. If you do opt to watch one of the geometry movies that I've created on my YouTube channel, Downer Class, please subscribe, then you can use these headphones to watch the movie. And if you do end up using one of my headphones, all I ask is that you put your cell phone in the basket, take a headphone, use it with your Chromebook, and then when you finish, go ahead and put it back and then take your cell phone with you. Feel free to also bring your own headphones. This tray over here is for papers to pass back, and generally I will pass those back to you or have someone pass them back during class. This is just a table I use to set up the papers for the class period. Over on the side shelves, I've got the inbox. If you are absent and you need to turn in a homework, it goes in this inbox. If you forgot to do a homework assignment and you're turning it in late, it goes in this inbox. So basically any late assignment that you would like to be put in progress book will get turned in that inbox. So that's a very important place that you'll need to be aware of in my classroom. For geometry, we use compasses. I've got some old tattered compasses in this bin. So let's use this bin if you accidentally broke your compass or you have lost your compass. Otherwise, I strongly suggest you get your own because the ones in this bin do not work very well. I also, on the shelves, have scissors and rulers and protractors to use. Over to the right, I've got the state reference sheet. You're allowed to use this state reference sheet throughout the whole year. At the end of the year for the state assessments, you're going to be allowed to use that state reference sheet. If you end up doing a retake in this class, you'll need to do what we call contract work. And this worksheet is used as that contract work. You would just place your work on top of that. If I have any extra papers that I have for the class, I would just put them in this extra geometry paper. So if you're absent or you've lost a paper, feel free to look in that tray. Also over to the side, I have graph paper and I have printer paper that we'll be using throughout the year. I also have a bin of extra markers and a bin of extra erasers. So if your table group runs out of them. This we call the crisis bin. This is if someone is bleeding in class or if you need a Band-Aid, you can check in the crisis bin. Also on the side, a pencil sharpener, a tape and stapler, as well as a really sturdy hole punch. You've got 3-ring binders this year, so if you would like to hole punch your papers to put them in there, you can use that. I also have lotion for those dry skin days, and hand sauce, thank you Jacob Breaker, or just hand sanitizer, if you will. Also some tissues. Over in the back corner, you will see this box of what I call cubicles. These get set up around every other desk during our summative days, just for some privacy as you take your summative. On the back board, you will see honors geometry and geometry with the daily homeworks. And underneath, I will write what the homework is for each of those days for each week. And I will also have the agenda over here that we will follow for that day. Here you will see a list of all the clubs and groups here at the high school. So if you're interested in getting involved, please feel free to have a look at this sheet or take a picture of it for your own use. Here is our American flag. And there are 2 ways to organize your papers for this class. One is to use a 3-ring binder, and at the front of it you will get this toolbox handbook what I call the geometry handbook. And this you will need every day in this class. As we're taking notes, we add to this handbook, and this handbook ends up being all the content from this class that you will have to know and take with you so that when you study for the ACT, this will be your resource. Behind that, you can place your guided notes and summatives. And then you might want to use this front pocket for homework and other worksheets. So that's one way to organize, keeping everything in this 3-ring binder and just adding to it throughout the year. It might get a little bit large towards the end of the year to carry around, but it is one way to organize your papers in this class. Another way is to have a 3-ring binder, but to get a folder that you can put the geometry handbook in, and the front would be notes, and then in the back pocket you can have your homework assignments. That way this red folder, or whatever colored folder you use, is the only thing that really needs to be with you and out on your desk during class. Then this 3-ring binder could be left in your locker, it could be left with a teacher, it could be left at home. At the end of each unit, you'll see the student notes here for Unit 1. At the end of each unit, we will take these notes, and I'll give you time to place them in your 3-ring binder so that at the end of the year, you will have all of your guided notes for all of the units we've done throughout the year. So those are the 2 ways that you can organize your papers in this class. The last thing that I want to talk about is that each of you are sitting in what I call pod groups. And this 4th seat that's facing away from the board is mainly for someone that's coming over to work with the group, whether it be a teacher or another peer. So I ask that you sit in the seats that are facing forward. And that's all about the class information. Please feel free to come in with plenty of questions so that I can answer them. And I look forward to a wonderful year working together.